Hi everyone, welcome to our channel. So this is part 1 video on ReactJS, Apollo GraphQL library and JSON GraphQL server CRUD example. Basically, I am going to create a ReactJS CRUD example by consuming the GraphQL endpoint with the help of Apollo GraphQL library. Okay, let's create React application and command to create the React template application, that is npx space, and the command is create -react -app space name of your project. Okay, let's run and create the project. So this is our React project. So let's install React Bootstrap UI library into our application. Go to React Bootstrap website, click on get started. Okay, here is the command for installing the React Bootstrap. Copy this, open the terminal, paste our command and run it. After installing Bootstrap, go to index.js file. Okay, here let me remove few unwanted code. Okay, can remove web vitals and also remove the static mode. Okay, and now here let me import the Bootstrap CSS file reference. Okay, and now I want to create a layout component, which is a master component that contains menu. Okay, so in the src, let me create a folder like components. Okay, inside of it, a shared folder. So inside of the shared folder, let me create a component like layout component. Okay, okay. In this layout component, I want to add the uh, React Bootstrap Nav Bar. So go to Nav Bar. So go to React Bootstrap and here click on components. Go to Nav Bar. Okay, let me pick one of the example. Okay, I'm taking this example primary color and I add it here. I want navbar to take entire space, so let me remove this container inside of it. Okay, I can remove nav links as well. I will name like my example like a toys. Okay, toy store. Okay, and this navbar will be a shared component. And here let me create container. Okay, so to this container, I want to render all my pages component. So let me destructure here props like children. Okay, and I want to render the children. That means page level components. So here we have to import the navbar namespace. So I can get from navbar here. Okay, so this is my layout component. So it should be rendered in app component because app component is our entry file. So go to app component, remove everything. Okay, add a layout component. Okay, so let's run and check our sample. So open one more terminal and our application can be start with the command npm start. Okay, and we can see our menu coming. So to this demo, I need a GraphQL endpoint, right? So for this demo, I am going to use a fake JSON server which we can set up very easily in our local machine so that we no need to concentrate on what is GraphQL and how server will work. Okay. So for that, search like JSON graph server GraphQL. Okay. Click on this npm link. The first thing we have to do is copy this command. Okay. npm hyphen JSON hyphen GraphQL hyphen server. So open the command prompt. Okay. Anywhere and install it globally. Okay. So after installing, here you can find some documentation how to set up the server. Okay. So first thing is we have to create a db.json somewhere. Okay. So for this demo, what I will do, I will directly create the db.json file here itself. Okay. So outside of the src, I'm going to add my db.json file. So this db.json, sorry, JS file, not JSON file. So JS file is my storage, temporary local storage for my API data. Okay. So create it. And here we have to add like this module.export. Okay. And open bracket. In this object, I need to configure my response data. If you see here example, see some post data array, some user information and comments like this. We have to add a parent property and that should be array to get the collection. Okay. So in my case, I want to add like toys. Okay. And open array. And let me add here some dummy data I have already prepared. Okay. Okay, this is my dummy data where I will have properties like ID, name, price, and image URL. Okay, so whenever our JSON server up and running, whatever the data we have created, right? So based on this type, automatically uh, JSON GraphQL schema will generate and it will return the response by taking this JSON data. Okay, sorry, temporary object data. So first we have to create the db.json and we have to add our dummy data, whichever we want to re receive as a API response. Okay. And the next thing is we have to set up the command to run the JSON server. Okay. So this is the command to run the JSON server. So but by default it runs under 3000 port number, but our React also runs under 3000 port number. So here is the conflict because no two applications cannot run under same port in a local machine. So what we can do, we can specify the port number explicitly. So copy this. So what I will do for my demo, go to package.json and here I will name a command like JSON GQL server. And its actual command is like this hyphen p. I have to specify the port number. I want to run it under 4000. Okay. So now if I run, automatically server will starts. Okay. JSON GraphQL server. So what we can do means open one more terminal. Okay. So npm run and give the script name. Okay. What is our script name? JSON GQL server, right? So run it. And here you can see GraphQL server is running with your data. So our endpoint is up and running. So if I try to add this local host, if you try to access the local host 4000, you can see a tool like this. So this tool is called Graphql Playground. Why it is useful means it is very easy to write the GraphQL queries. Okay. So basically GraphQL will contain single endpoint unlike our web API. Okay. So with that single endpoint only we can read data and we can update data. But there are two operations it will take. Okay. One is query. Query means reading the data. Another thing is mutation. Mutation means updating the data. Okay. So our GraphQL server is running, right? So it is running means schema is already generated based on our dummy data. In db.json we have given, right? So here, if you click on docs, it will give intelligence. See, I have specified like query and mutation, right? Query for fetching and mutation for updating or saving the record. So if you click on mutation, see, it will by default show some existing method. So this is the existing method at the server. So if I use this method, I can read the data like that. Okay. And if you go for mutation, see, it will also show what are the different methods it will support. Say remove, update, create many, and create. Okay. So what are all these methods? How we can create the commands for GraphQL? We will understand next. Okay. So to consume the GraphQL into React.js application, we have to use a library so that supports the GraphQL syntax and invocation of the API call. Okay. So that library is Apollo GraphQL client library. Okay. So, okay, such something like Apollo GraphQL React and go to this domain apolloggraphql.com. Okay. And here go to get started, and in the get started you can see the command for installing the GraphQL library. Okay, copy this command, open our terminal, install the Apollo client GraphQL library. So library installed successfully. Let's do some initial configurations. So to initial configurations that are related to our GraphQL library, go to the index.js. Okay, first thing, constant client, and I have to initialize the Apollo client instance. Okay, new Apollo client instance. Okay, that loads from the Apollo GraphQL. Here I have to add some configurations. For that, let's pass the object. Okay, and you will have options like URI. So to this URI property, we have to assign our GraphQL endpoint URL. We know our GraphQL endpoint URL, right? So 44,000 on localhost 4,000. My GraphQL endpoint is loading. Okay, remove the question mark. Okay, and this is my endpoint. And next, one more configuration like cache option. So we can use in-memory cache option. Okay, new in-memory cache that also loads from the Apollo GraphQL client library. Okay, now I have to use Apollo provider component, which is a GraphQL client React component. Okay, I should use it as a parent so that my client instance can be injected into my entire application so that I can easily consume the GraphQL endpoints. Okay, so I can add a element like Apollo provider. Okay, so that is the component I want to add and wrap it around our app component. Okay, so now to this Apollo provider, there is a input property like client. Okay, to that client, we have to pass our client instance we have created just now. Sorry. Okay, that's it. These are the required initial configuration to integrate our Apollo GraphQL library. And next, we are going to focus on read operation, means consuming the GraphQL endpoint. And once we receive the response, and we have to bind the response to our UI. Okay. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this video delivered some useful content to you all. If you like the video, please do support me by subscribing to my channel, and also please give a thumbs up to this video It will be a huge encouragement for me to do more and more videos. Okay. Soon we are going to meet with new videos. Until then, signing off.